Oh yeah.
I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting old now, got no time. Gotta keep a couple.
You know what?
for the
Hold
road.
on. Oh, I ain't gonna hold y'all. I've been going through some things. Dude, I need them shoulders.
Okay.
I need them shoulders.
Run it back.
Hey,
run
I
it back.
need them shoulders.
Run it back, Turbo.
I've been going through some things, bro.
Been
Like,
going through some
it's
things.
been a minute.
Anything for my, anything for my nigga, dog.
I've been going through some things.
My nigga say he wanted it, he gon' get it.
Come on. Hey.
I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting old now, got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind. Yeah. To the hundred pledge allegiance I stand. I'm going for 4 in the fucking white sand. I give it all to this fucking mic stand. If it's been done before, then I know I can. I'm on the rise, I'm trying to keep a level head. She want my time, she begging me to give me neck.
Yo, what's the deal, y'all? Hope all is well. Welcome back to another episode. I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Amber.
I'm Jalon, and this is another episode of Nice and Neat. As you guys see, we have a very, very, very special guest here today. We have Miss Amber Riley here today. Amber is, I know Amber. We go way back. We got an incredible relationship. I've watched Amber's career soar. When you watch somebody's career soar like this, you actually kind of like forget their accolades. So excuse me as I kind of just like run through a couple of these right quick. Amber is, first and foremost, she's a Los Angeles native.
Hello.
So like, let's give some
Hello.
credit to the best coast, aka the West Coast.
Oh, she came by.
You know, throwing it
That's
up.
the
Look at
number
her,
one
look at her
podcast
earrings.
in LA. How about that?
Amber came and blessed the number one podcast in LA.
That's right.
Okay. So like I said, let me run through these accolades right quick. Amber is a 2-time Grammy nominated artist.
Hello.
Amber is a singer actor as well.
Hello.
She's a singer and an actor. Let me not combine those. She's a singer and an actress. She's the winner of Dancing with the Stars. What season was that?
Hello.
Season 17.
Season 17.
Come on now.
And she also was in a Lifetime original, Single Black Female.
Come on now.
Jeez.
So Amber, thank you
Decorated.
for
Let's
gracing
clap it
us
up for Amber
today.
one time. Let's clap it up.
Absolutely.
Clap it up.
Yeah,
She's definitely working. She's definitely working.
So Amber, how are you? Talk to us, man. Tell us how you feeling.
How you, like being on Nice and Neat, first and foremost. Also, I apologize, guys. We are in the middle of representing International Women's Month,
Yeah.
and we are Amber's gracing us with her presence here today on the Nice and Neat set, and I'm excited. She's gonna give us so much game today. We're gonna be running through so many different things. I know that our female audience really loves the perspective of women, and we understand that. Granted, our audience is tailored towards men, but however men get that message, whether it's through the women you're with or whether it's through your mother, we want you to get that message. So again, Amber, what's up? What the hell is
Thank
up?
you.
Talk that
for
talk.
having me.
Absolutely.
Single black female.
Yes.
Are you a single black female?
I am a single black female.
Okay.
I'm a single black female, but I'm not a crazy one.
Not
Wait,
like
how
the,
long-
not like the
in
movie.
How long? Okay, have you always been single, or is it a recent thing?
I'm recently single. Yeah.
Now, how's that going?
Um.
Was it a bad breakup?
Oh yeah, let's go there. Let's go there.
Oh, or is it cordial?
It was amicable.
Ooh,
Okay.
amicable. I got a crazy
Okay.
story about that word. Amicable. I got a crazy
It's
story.
a very PC word, but
That's
yeah,
crazy.
it was amicable. I wish him the best. I don't have anything, horrible
Okay.
or bad to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a really like fair position to be in. You know, when you say like choose yourself, a lot of people kind of think it's kind of, we all know that, hey, like it's just logical for someone to choose themselves. But a lot of times when we're dealing with somebody, it's different when we're in the fire and they choose themselves.
Yeah.
You know, and then we gotta like say, man, does this person, is he for me or is she for me? That's a really realistic like confrontation that we have to have with ourselves. But like, talk about your story though. Like, talk about your career. How'd you end up? You know, what got you started? We were talking a little bit off camera, and you said you kind of just, it kind of for you, it kind of just happened, right? So like, run us through that. Walk us through that.
I think that a lot of the times when people make it in certain positions in life, we don't account for like luck or somebody or some people may say purpose or God's plan, but sometimes whatever it is that you call it, when the the what is this? What's that saying? When the iron strikes, or when the whatever the word
When
is.
the iron's hot, you gotta
When the
strike.
iron's hot, you gotta strike.
Yep.
And I think I was just always in the right place at the right time, and I've always made the best decisions for myself in my career, and I tried my best not to compromise what it was that I want. Being a plus size, dark skinned Black woman, you know what I'm saying? Who is Black, looks Black. You know, I'm not racially ambiguous, which is a lot of what Hollywood wanted. I didn't let that deter me from going after what it was that I wanted and who I knew that God created me to be, which is a star. Like,
Come on then, star.
You know, God was like, you, and not just for the sake of, not an ego thing, not just for the sake of being a star, but my work is to be a star. My work is to be an entertainer, but my purpose has always been to reach back. I mentor young girls, you know, especially young girls that look like me, that want to be in the industry, that feel like there is no way. You know, I am their representation. I'm the one that you can look at and say, hey, it may have been a hard road for her to get there, but she was consistent. And she persisted, and she didn't take, you know, no's to make it mean that I wasn't supposed to be in the room. I let it mean, oh, you're just gonna have to work harder. You're gonna have to prove that you're supposed to be there. So there's just a difference between my purpose and my job. I just use my job to let it be a light so that people can see, you know, my actual purpose is to make this world so much better. I want to leave this world so much better than it was, you know, while I was here.
Yeah, I know Jalon touched on some of the things that you've, just like your successful career, you know, thus far in your life. And I know you mentioned, you know, sometimes there is luck or God's favor, or whatever it is that you want to call it. But, you know, even when those opportunities do come, wherever they come from, however they come from, you do have to be prepared. So like, there is an aspect, a part of you that is like hardworking and diligent about your craft, and it has to be, right? Because if those opportunities come and you're not working, you're not prepared, you'll never be able to capitalize on them. So I think I would like to just talk about like your preparation and how you go about preparing and working on your craft.
Man, it's been a journey. Because it didn't start out that way. Because I'm, you know, when you have a natural talent for a long time, you'll let your natural talent carry you. But then there comes a point where, okay, now you're having vocal issues, and now and now like your body is not able to carry you through what you need to do on this tour. So now you got to get up and work out. Now you have to, you know, cut back on the alcohol. Now you got to sing every day, and you got to find a vocal coach. So it was a learning experience. The deficit is what kind of taught me, okay, this is where you got to pick up the slack, and now you have to prepare, because I'll give one example. It wasn't really my fault, but kind of was a little bit. My passport was expiring. The pandemic hit. I knew that my passport was expiring. I needed to go and get my passport renewed. I booked a job. It was a series regular, and they booked me for it. I could not take that job because my passport, I was going to have to film in Canada. And Canada don't play.
No.
Canada,
No.
Even with the vaccine too.
Yeah.
No, I ain't playing.
Canada does not play. And because of the, you know, pandemic, usually I could call and just be like, hey, can somebody expedite, you know, getting my passport? Because of the pandemic, all the federal buildings were closed.
Yeah.
So I literally had to pass on that job because preparation is absolutely key.
Yeah.
And not even just for your career. That's like for
Just
real life.
just
You're missing the passport, you know?
It's kind of like that. It's that, you know, stay ready so you never got to get ready.
Exactly.
You know, so especially if you know what's going on ahead of time. I do want to highlight, though, I'm looking at Amber's finger. I want to bring attention to it. We both have Band-Aids on. This was not planned. So if you guys are watching this right now, you know, you guys are thinking like, why do they have
We didn't
Band-Aids?
get in a fight or anything.
You know, we didn't get in a fight. She cut her hand. I cut my hand. I'm playing, you know, God's plan.
God's plan.
God's plan.
God's plan. But I do want to ask you something. You had mentioned, you know, you said as a plus size Black woman, right? What are some things that you do to like specifically reinforce that mindset for people like you, right? That consider themselves plus size, right? Because that's a real thing, you know, that's the thing that it's like everyone doesn't have to deal with that. We don't really know the type of mental battles that people go through,
Yeah.
you know, on a day-to-day basis? Or how do you make sure that women like you that consider themselves plus size, and to even take it a step further, consider themselves plus size Black women, you know, how do you reinforce them that mindset to be, how do they still be confident? How do they still feel like they can provide value to the world, right? I feel like everyone feels like, you know, we can all feel like they're valuable, but like internally, we don't know how they feel. So what are you doing, or how do you specifically reinforce that?
I think for me, I never want to make it seem like I have it all together and that I just know everything and I'm just perpetually joyous and happy all the time. Self-love and self-acceptance has been a very long journey, and one that is, you're always going to be on that journey. You're always going to be on a mental health journey. You're always going to be learning and growing. So one thing that I try to instill in my girls is the way that you talk about yourself, the way that you talk to yourself. I always try to be real with them about how I feel, because there have been times where I didn't feel like I was supposed to be in the room, but there's also this conscious knowing that I am. You know, even if I don't feel that way, feelings are not facts.
Cool.
You know, and I stress that with people, that feelings are just not facts. That doesn't mean I could feel like I'm not doing enough, which often I do. I can feel like I'm not successful enough, which, you know, sometimes I feel. That's not fact.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I always remind myself, and I tell them to remind themselves that your body is not the sum of who you are. And me being on, I was on Glee, which was like a TV show phenomenon. Like, there was nothing like it on television.
No,
the whole
never.
freaking world was watching.
Yeah.
I was the only Black girl and the only plus size girl on that show.
Yeah.
I was thrust into being the spokesperson for what that is, and I didn't even know what I felt about my body.
Wow.
This
So, like-
was like before, like the whole real talk. Like, I think body positivity, mental health, all of those things are at the forefront of like now.
Now, it was not the case.
That
10
wasn't the
years ago.
case then.
No.
People
So-
literally hated seeing me on TV shows.
Yeah, but understanding that though, did you ever feel like, you know, being like the only plus size on person on TV, right? Did you ever, or just being a plus size person in general, do you feel like you have to have like a bigger personality than most people, or be like more intelligent, or just like give more to feel like, yo, like to make yourself, I guess,
Like, stand out.
stand out?
I think I've always been, as much as I am like this person that's on TV and like loves the stage and like loves the camera, I'm actually an introvert.
Okay.
So no, I didn't like the attention that I got off of the screen.
Okay.
I just want to go back to my regular life.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you like,
Nah, if y'all,
But you can't, though.
Look, I'm telling you, Amber, first and foremost, Amber's been a star.
Yeah.
But Amber's been a star, like, just to like her friends, her family, and we just knew, like, nah, she's bigger than this. I met Amber performing in a room that started with 13 people. So like, Amber would just be singing, we'd be like, man, she is amazing. And like, those rooms grew, and then the rooms in her life continue to just grow, but she's always been Amber. Like,
I
big,
just
big star
myself.
energy.
yeah,
I don't
she
know.
just had
Big
big
star
star,
energy.
big
star energy.
I got a song called Big Girl Energy.
Oh shit.
Oh, do you?
Okay.
She does.
I
She
do. I have a
does.
song called BGE.
I was listening to that, getting some inspiration. I was watching Single Black Female, listening to Big Girl Energy, get some inspiration. Where did Big Girl Energy come from? Where did you just like want to outwardly just own that? Like, this is me.
Can I really say where that came from?
Say where it
That's
came
it.
from. We on the podcast.
Speak your truth.
Okay, so
Yeah, speak.
Hey, if you need a drink, if you need another drink, you can just grab that cup right there.
Yeah,
you know,
that's why it's there.
That's all you
That's why I
need.
said Big Girl Energy, BGE.
Big Girl
I feel like I know what
Energy.
she's gonna say though.
Big,
I feel like that's what
Big
she's
Girl
gonna say.
Energy came from me being in the studio and just really talking shit, because I was dealing with somebody that felt like I needed their love and their attention because I was a bigger girl. And it's like, no,
It's like you was the one settling.
not even that. Like, you're not the only nigga I'm dealing with.
Mm.
Like, do you really?
You on the roster, fam?
Yeah, hey.
Hey, you on the roster,
hey,
fam?
Like, what?
Let them know women got rosters too. Like, just to give you a heads up.
Yeah, like,
Please, please believe
We
that.
play the same game
and
now.
like, no, honestly, like, it was on the song that says, you know, this ain't the weekend, it's time to move on. Yeah, You tell me I'm warm, yeah, but nigga, when you leaving? Like that's the opening line. And I was talking some real.
Get on,
So that's where it kind of
stemmed from, like just kind of talking shit and being like, do you honestly really think that I am sitting at home crying? Do you think tears would flow? And you watched me while I was asleep. Let it go. That's life. Like that's really what the song is about.
You see how she just worked
Yeah,
that
but
into the
that's what I'm saying.
conversation?
That all stem from people thinking that, like, you know, if you're a certain type of woman, you can't be confident. That's where it stemmed from, you know. And I think it's important for people like you to speak up and say, yeah, we can be confident, and we don't have to try to step outside of ourselves to, you know, get that kind of attention or to draw, like, just like bring notoriety to ourselves, right? You can just be confident and, you know, love who you are and be confident in your skin. Right?
And nobody really knows if confidence is fake or real. Like it's just
Facts.
it's just how you present yourself. And I always was like, you know, like I said, feelings aren't facts. Even if I'm not feeling it that day, I'm gonna present myself in a certain way.
False enthusiasm. We talk about that here on the show, just about being a pro.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that just comes with it sometimes.
Yeah.
You got to put it on.
You said something about how you speak to yourself, and I think that just kind of speaks to that and the consistency. So like when you have your days and you're just not feeling yourself, what are some of the things that you tell yourself that somebody can even adopt into their own mantras to move forward with their to fake it till you make it, essentially?
Yeah, I mean, I literally get up and there's a thing called cognitive dissonance, right? Where I don't want to lie to myself. I'm not lying to myself. These are things that I actually believe in, the things that I'm actually confessing. So when I say I am beautiful, I am beautiful. I'm not beautiful based on anybody's marker, based on a comparison to anyone else. I'm beautiful because I deserve to say that I'm beautiful because I'm a living, breathing human being. And that's what I
Come on, man.
So like that's what I say to myself every single day. Even if that is standing in the mirror naked, looking at all of my imperfections and saying, I love that. I love that. I know that I talk about that. I know that I may not give that place on my body, you know, the respect that it deserves, but I love it because this is my body and this carries me through every single day. And I deserve to feel that way. Like, these are the things, this is the way that I have to speak to myself, because we live in a world that tells us the complete opposite. You know, even if it's just being black in general. We live in a world that tells us that this is not beautiful, that this is, you know, that this is not great. So I have to reaffirm myself every day.
When would you say that you found like that confidence to like walk and be confident in your own skin? Because I think that comes at different times for all of us. Like I could say, I look back on my adolescence, my adolescent time, and say, oh, I was confident. I played sports, but really like I really gained ultimate confidence in my later 20s. You know, like, and when I think back, reflect now, like a lot of it was fake. I was, you know, I was like bravado, you know. So what?
He said fake. I don't know. It's just Omar.
You know, so like when would you say that you found that confidence, or is it something that you're still finding today?
I think it's an everyday thing for me.
Yeah.
I'm a confident person because I don't just find confidence in the outside things, and I don't just work on the outside. I really, really work on the inside. I work on how I treat people. I work on how I talk to people, you know, how I love on people. I work on how I talk to myself, being a good person, you know, just in general. Those are the things that are important. And I don't know if I've had to be that way because I didn't feel beautiful and I didn't feel, you know, like my outside was enough. So I don't know if I just went in.
No, I can't even say that. I can't even let you get away with that, because some people who are just extremely talented just be like, I can be who I am because of my talent. Amber, you've always been extremely talented. And I wanted to say, because O was speaking about, like, I got my confidence kind of as adolescence. I may not have been like I really feel it, but sometimes your talent or something that people expect you to be good at, if you could be good at that, that can kind of mask your lack of confidence in certain areas.
Oh, absolutely. I think I found a lot of confidence in my talent.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You've always been an incredible person, though. Like, you've been one of the best people that I know.
Aw,
and one of the most
thanks,
consistent. By the way, y'all talk about fake people in LA. I want to let y'all know. Everybody up here is actually LA or greater LA or right outside of LA natives. I give love to the IE too as well. I don't want to miss them. But like, y'all say people in LA is fake. Hey, look, Amber has been solid from the beginning.
Y'all don't know people from LA,
Yeah,
man.
y'all know people
Y'all
from
Y'all know
LA.
people that move
Y'all know
to
people
LA.
that moved
And
to
that-
LA.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of LA, Amber, you single now. We gotta touch on this.
Come on.
How's dating in LA for you?
Horrible.
Horrible? That was
I've
you
never
think that's
I've never dated
I forget
dated
what we said.
anyone from LA.
You never? You know what? To play devil's advocate, I feel like people that live, every woman from everywhere says the men in their city are terrible. Everyone, like people in New York say the same thing about their men. People in Atlanta say the same thing about their men. People in Miami say the same thing. People in LA. So it's just like, yo, we just so used to the people we're around, and we just think that everyone outside of the area that we in is better. But everyone complaining about the people around.
I won't say that I
Most
think
people,
that
most
LA
people.
men are horrible. They just don't approach me.
Okay.
How do dudes holler at you? Because I know they holler in some way or another.
I mean,
how do you get hollered at?
DMs or like I have a homegirl and they're like, oh, what's up with Amber? I've had like guys come up to me at a bar,
What do you prefer?
but never LA. I would rather somebody come up to me when I'm out, because when I'm out, I'm really cute.
I'm pressed. Yeah.
Really,
Pressed. I put my shit on.
I dress to impress.
Put it on.
Okay,
Yeah.
these heels are not on for no reason.
For no reason. No, seriously.
If I got on heels, approach me. If I got on sneakers, I'm chilling with my girls. Leave me alone.
Well, why? What's the difference? What's the difference?
Hey, y'all heard that, fellas? Hey, sneakers, don't try it.
I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I mean, I would rather just be approached in person. But honestly, it don't really matter.
Yeah,
It don't
but
matter. If we vibe, we vibe.
But the dating experience though in LA, like,
Not great.
it's not great. Is that a you thing, or you think that's just kind of the general landscape?
I think it's the general landscape. There's more men to women, So like, I just feel like men don't feel like they have to really try hard, which you guys don't. You have to want to, but there's
Have
just
to
more
want to.
y'all. To us, y'all got more choices than we do, so we just don't.
Oh, you mean it's more of y'all?
No, it's more of men than
You mean it's more women available?
more women. I feel like there's more women. They say it's like
2 to 1 or
seven,
something. Or
yeah, it's no like 7 to 1.
Yeah,
or
it's like
something
7
that.
or 8 to
that's
1.
crazy.
Yeah, it really is.
to one woman. So like,
oh yeah, black.
Or-
We talk about the black community. Talking about incarceration. We talk about death. We talk about a lot of other stuff.
so when it comes to like women, it's just I don't know. It's just I just feel like you guys have the power of choice.
Yes, and I think that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
I think that just kind of the dynamic, the male female dynamic, is that we're the choosers,
Yeah.
essentially. So like, if we kind of reverse the roles, it'd probably be different. If you just reverse that one role, it'd be different. So if I'm a man and I'm waiting for the woman that's attracted to me to court me, then I'm probably not going to see as many women as if I'm the person that's going to get the women.
Yeah.
Because I'm acting on impulse, or I'm acting on as soon as I think about it, I'm going. So I think that's a big reason.
I got a taboo question for you.
Yes,
Have you explored dating outside of your race, or how you feel about that?
I love black men.
Okay,
Say no
that's
more.
that on that. That's that on that.
Say no more, say no more.
That's that on that.
You know,
Okay,
I
shut that shit
had to
down.
ask just so, because I think that's
Shut that
something that
shit
we talk
down.
about. We talk about it a lot.
Sorry.
We talk about it a lot. We talk about just the black family, and just like me personally, I feel like that's a part of loving yourself. You know, you love yourself by looking in your reflection, which is your person.
Yeah,
So like,
we are a mirror to one another. We definitely are. In general as human beings, but just to have someone that has the same experiences and having someone that understands, having someone that can push you in a certain way because they understand what you've been through and they know how far you can go based on limitations that we just know sometimes are there. But I mean, I have homegirls and cousins that date outside their race. I don't find anything wrong with it. I've gone out on dates with men of other races. I just don't connect.
Yeah.
I just don't connect.
Yeah. So like, so we're all aware of just a lot of the issues that black women can have with dating black men, right? And a couple of things I've heard is that black men don't like black women, Black men don't do X, Y, Z, right? We don't work, like, it's a lot of things. Okay, so if a woman is going through all that and she's going through all that stuff, and she keeps running into like issues with dating black men, and she's like trying hard to stick with black men, but it's just not working. What would you like suggest that she do?
I mean, that's so individual for each person, because it also depends on the level of trauma that you dealt with. Because I understand if you're dealing with it's like a pattern. Like if you find a certain pattern with the same person that you're dating, you probably are gonna try to divert and go somewhere else. And I can't fault anyone for doing that. Go where the love is.
Go where the love is.
Just go where the love is.
Where you feel appreciated.
But if it's a thing of like a pride thing, or like a goal that you have, like I want to be with someone that's healed.
Be with somebody that's healed, most importantly.
But and I feel like that's why my dating pool is smaller, because I'm not gonna be with somebody that's not healed. You've never been to therapy or had some kind of counseling. You never talked to anybody about, you're not unpacking trauma, from your past, because whatever it is happening in your personal life, that's going to show up in your relationship. It's going to show up with the person that you're the closest to. It's an irrefutable fact. The person that you are the closest to is going to be the person that's going to deal with your baggage the most.
Woo! Sorry about that. Halftime's a little thing we be doing around here. What's the deal, y'all? Welcome back to the Nice and Neat Halftime Show. I'm your host, Omar, and as you can see, we have an amazing host here in Amber Riley, and we're going to get into our Dim the Rules section. It's going to be a little bit different today, but actually, you know what? Before I even swing it to Duke, man, I got something serious to bring up, right? Like, I need y'all to come closer. Come a little closer. Come a little closer. This is serious. Check this out. I went over their analytics, and I looked. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, all right? But I've noticed that 45.9% of our audience that is watching our YouTube videos every week is not subscribed to our channel. So I want to let y'all know that the most important thing that you guys could do for us right now in this moment is subscribe. Subscribe. I know we mention it all the time, but I just checked the analytics before we started the show, man, and I just want to reiterate that and drive that in home to y'all, because you guys are our family. We sit up here every week, give you guys free game. Free game. We bring on amazing guests to give you free game, share our experiences. The least y'all could do is subscribe to our channel, fam. So the least. And the most. Seriously.
If you don't want Omar to pull up on you at your house, then subscribe.
Because I'll pull up, fam.
Yeah, y'all see his workout videos.
No, seriously. With that said, man, let's get into the halftime show the only way we know how, man. Duke, take it away.
All right, man. So we're not even going to waste no more time. Amber?
Yes.
Amber?
Yes.
We're not going to waste no more time. Talk to me. Talk to me. Yeah, we want to know, as women, as a woman, as a black woman, successful black woman, what are the fucking rules? What are the rules for approaching men?
Gosh.
It's a good question, boy.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with expressing interest. Like I think that I'm not pursuing a man, but I think that it is imperative to kind of let him, because you guys kind of have all the pressure in like approaching.
I'm glad you said that.
You guys do. It's a lot of pressure, and and I think women need to understand, like, there's a fear of rejection there too.
Oh man, I'm glad you said that. Man.
So sometimes you can make it a little bit easier by at least saying, and when women compliment you, that's really them like shooting their shot.
Really?
So if they're like, "Oh, your shoes are nice," or like,
"Oh, that's it."
We're letting you know, approach. Like we're opening the door for you to be whatever. But I've asked a guy to get drinks before. That's not.
How did that go? How did that situation?
But you know,
we were all in a group, and we were all sitting around, and we were vibing, and I was like, you want me and you to go and get a drink? Like, let's go get a drink. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
A little approach.
Just because it's not saying let's get married.
No, I'm letting you know that I want some alone time.
What's the rules though? Like, okay, like,
can you DM or you like photos? Like, what is it?
Because let's say,
do you comment underneath posts?
Yeah, do you comment underneath posts?
There's levels to it.
Because like, let's say a woman is like, you know what, I'm gonna just go do it myself. You know, like that. There's still a way you got to go about it, right?
I
You
think
can't just be
so.
like, hey, yo, like.
I think that's more for. I think it's more for y'all to say like. I mean, and it depends on the person, because I think also if you're too aggressive, you can end up with someone that never initiates anything. So
There you go.
You kind of have to like.
Rule number one.
Yeah.
Deep.
You gotta know who it is that you're.
You got to let them
dealing
express some
with.
interest too.
Yeah.
Right.
If we, like I said, there was a vibe there and he was very interested. Eye contact, you know what I'm saying? A touch on a leg or the arm while we're talking. I'm like, oh, okay. So I just asked him, like, you want to go get a drink? Because everything was kind of dying down and I still wanted to talk to him.
Yeah, is there a such thing as kind of just setting the play up and letting them complete it, like letting them finish the play? Or is it just like, I'm going to run the play, I'm gonna finish the play myself, and then we're going to go from there?
I think you just got to play it by ear. I don't know if there's like set rules for it.
Okay.
Every situation is different.
Yeah.
Every situation is
What
different.
I hear though is like, at some point you show interest to see if he show interest.
Yes.
Cause like I think if a dude like you and he just shows like, okay, the door's open, like I could go slide a little further.
Yeah.
I could slide a little further.
And you kind of like, it's like, going back. It's like tennis a little bit. You kind of going back and forth. Okay, the ball's in your court now.
So
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I feel like it should be tennis. I know some women who are extremely reserved and they be like, oh, well, he never did nothing. And it's like, well, I mean, you
It's
gotta
got to be a back and
you gotta
play
give
the
a little,
game.
you gotta give a little big girl energy back.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you got a little.
Well, I mean, even as a guy, like we want people to play, play
Yeah.
the game with us,
Yep.
right? Because what I don't like is I'm gonna try to approach you, and then you just kind of you trying to make me work harder and harder and harder instead of giving me something to work with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now I don't want it.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that if I give you something and then you take that and you say, okay, like I'm gonna give you some, I ain't gonna give you everything, but I give you some back.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's my turn.
I think that
You know?
we've also lost the art. Like I love watching shows, like old shows from like the 18th century or whatever, because they knew the art of flirting.
Yeah.
Like they knew how to flirt. We've completely lost the
Male and
art
female.
of yes, we've completely lost the art of flirting and being coy, and like they literally were teaching these women how to do that back in the day. I don't feel like we do that now. It's just like we banging or nah. Like there's no like.
Do you feel like that
Back
is
and forth.
that's on both sides, on the man and woman side? Or do you feel like it's less flirting going on with women, or?
I feel like it's both. I
Yeah.
feel like everybody's so like.
Well, you know what? That's crazy. It's almost, it's just like evolved, because I feel like a version of flirting now is like liking a photo.
Yep.
Or commenting. You know what I'm saying? So like, I mean, I
Or
think
even just responding to like a story.
that's
Yeah.
that's flirting.
Reposting something
Yeah.
big they did.
That's flirting.
God,
That's flirting.
I'm such a communicative person.
Yeah.
Like I like to communicate.
Of
Yeah.
course.
So I say what I say,
Yeah.
and maybe that may be too strong for some men that
yeah.
that may come off a little bit too strong.
For sure. Well, we're all from the same era, so we all believe in that. But what I'm saying is, I think that like just the world, the way the world's going,
It's changing a little
it's
bit.
changing.
What are some
Following
other
up
reasons? What are some other reasons, or not other reasons, but what's some reasons you think of that you can think of that a woman might say, you know what, that's not the place for me. That's not the position I ever want to be in, and I'm going to leave it strictly up to them. I'm not going to give them nothing. Like, what are some of those reasons why, not you, but a woman you may know or just general would like take that position?
I think old-fashioned values.
Okay.
I think the fear of looking thirsty, fear of being taken advantage of, because there is that fear of like, well, if I let him know I like him too much, then he know he got me open now, so like he can just play the game, like he don't have to work. Because as men, and I could be wrong, but like I do feel like you guys want some kind of leadership position in that, or some kind of
Right.
position where you've made that decision.
Yeah,
You know what
for
I'm
sure.
saying? You made the decision, and I don't want to make it seem like I made you make that decision.
So let me ask y'all, to our listeners and to our viewers. All right, so if you're a woman right now, I want you to answer in the comments. If you don't like approaching men, what's the reason? Is it because you're intimidated? Is it because you don't want to look thirsty? Is it because you don't want to undermine men? Is it because you have classic old school values? Whatever it is, let us know in the comments right now what you think is the reason why you don't approach men. Not saying it's bad, but let us know right now. And
But before we conclude, let's just clarify. What's the rule?
What's the rule?
You can't. Can you?
Can you or can't you?
Can you or can't you approach a man?
You can.
Them the rules.
Them the
Them's
rules.
Okay.
With that said, we're going to conclude this week's halftime show and get into the rest of the show the only way we know how. That's with some positive energy, some positive vibrations, and a smile, of course. Second half. Let's go.
So Amber, I've been following you for some time. You know, probably since the beginning of Instagram. One thing though that I noticed year after year, and it's been for some time now, I've seen you progressively become more and more open with your mental health, more specifically within your anxiety. We actually did a quick centering by placing our hand over our heart and just breathing. Probably did that for about a minute and just kind of releasing that anxiety. When did you start noticing that anxiety became an issue for you? Especially you've been on some of the biggest stages in the entire world. And for anxiety, usually that's like a really debilitating thing for people. Have you ever missed a show because of it? Have you ever missed something because your anxiety just became that overwhelming for you?
Yeah. So I realized through therapy, you know, as I got older, that I have been dealing with depression and anxiety since I was around 11, just from conversations that we had. And around the end of 2019, I noticed that I didn't enjoy anything. Like I got no fulfillment. I didn't want to do anything. I was on autopilot. It seemed like working, traveling, and just like crying a lot for no reason, not sleeping at all. And to the point where I had a panic attack in public, which created agoraphobia. So I was scared to leave my house because I was afraid that I was going to have another panic attack in public. And finally talked to my doctor, and my doctor, you know, hooked me up with the psychiatrist, and I actually got on medication. And the reason that I started being open about my journey is because it helped me so much. Like I would not be here if I did not get on medication. That's how bad my mental health was. That's how depleted I was. I had nothing to even give to myself.
And just to say, like, so people will know, your background, you grew up in the church, right?
Yes.
You had a relationship with God.
Yes, absolutely. And I really, truly believe, like, my relationship with God is what sustained me as long as it did. But we also live on earth in an earthly body. And our mind, our brains, our bodies, you know, we have to take care of them. And we need to take care of our mind just as much as we take care of our bodies. And so I got on antidepressants. I just needed room in my brain. Everything in my brain was negative. Everything in my mind was my thoughts were racing constantly. I had no room to even think about positive things. There was no positive affirmation that was going to help me climb out of the depression that I was in. And then I just started, as I opened up, I started opening up to my friends, you know, because I wouldn't leave the house. I didn't leave the house for 3 months. And my friends were coming by. I would only see a couple of people. Like, and when I say that, like, I think people feel like it's dramatic, but I had a physical representation of what was going on in my body. I didn't eat. I dropped like 20 pounds in like 2 weeks or something, because I literally couldn't eat. I would try to chew food, swallow. I could not eat. Physically, my heart was always racing. I was always sweating. I was not sleeping, which makes anxiety even worse.
Yeah.
And I refused to get on benzos because they're highly addictive. So I was trying like meditation and, you know, all these that smelled like a tea bag. I had so many oils, essential oils on my body, trying to like calm myself down. But eventually I did. I got on antidepressants, and I thank God. You know, as I started talking to friends, that were dealing with the same shit.
Yeah.
Nobody had ever said anything to me until I opened up about what I was dealing with. Then they were like, yeah, I deal with the same thing. Found out some of my friends were on antidepressants. They never said anything about it. And so, I mean, I'm not on them now. What I did is I worked very closely with my therapist for the past 2.5 years with the psychiatrist because I told them this is going to be temporary for me because I gained a lot of weight. I gained like 50 pounds.
Off of the medication.
Yes, the medication made me gain like 50 pounds.
Not the meditation. The medication. Okay.
Made me
Not
gain
the
like-
meditation.
not
Not to be
medication.
confused.
So I was like, I'm only going to be on this temporarily. That's not a reason that you shouldn't be on antidepressants, by the way. You want to be here, you do what you need to do. And that's what I needed to do. And I wanted to take the stigma out of the taking that medicine if you absolutely needed it. But during that time, I worked with my trainer. You know, we came up with an eating plan because what I had to do was create wellness in my life, which I wasn't. I wasn't taking care of myself. You know, I was just going, working. And I wasn't taking a breath. I wasn't going for walks. I was working, going home in my room. I wasn't enjoying nature.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't drinking enough water. I wasn't getting enough sleep. So I wasn't working out. So I created wellness in my life. And that actually got me to the point where I can get off of medication.
She gave you balance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you started working out, was that your first time like having a trainer and actually committing to?
No,
working
that
out?
was committing to, yes.
To
But I
committing
had
to like your physical fitness?
Yeah. Because at that point, it's not, I need to lose weight to look good.
Right.
It was, I need to live.
Okay. Okay.
I need something. After I work out, I can wake up and be in the worst mood. I can wake up and just be, you know, struggling. And I work out and do something hard and get that good sweat
Yeah.
and be in pain and be like, I
Yeah.
did that shit.
Yep.
And then
Stimulates
the
you.
rest,
Yeah.
the rest of my day is
You feel
like,
empowered.
yes,
Ready to conquer. Ready to conquer. Yeah.
I did that. It was hard as fuck, but I did that.
So basically, you like, it sounds to me, once you realized that your physical fitness was more about your lifestyle as opposed to, you know, how you looked, you started taking it more serious, you know? And I think that's important because I was on me and my girl was on live like last week, and she asked like a lot of women, you know, what are their fears about working out? What are some things or struggles? And a lot of them were saying, you know, it's intimidating. It's you know, I don't know how to stay disciplined. I don't know what program to follow. I don't think I can eat well. I got kids, you know, I got a busy life, I'm depressed, all these things. And you know, it's always interesting when you hear things because like it was all about a lot of the women were able to use those things as the reason they weren't working out because it was about appearance and working out just to like lose weight and stuff like that, you know? But it sounds like when you make it about something greater than like weight and image, and it's really about like being able to just live a fulfilling life, you'll find a way.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's important. So what to the woman that really wants to feel good about herself, but is kind of scared, you know, how do you kind of make that first step? Just that first step, how do you get to that space where it's just like, okay, I'm ready to commit to like my physical fitness?
It took me a couple of years to understand that it starts here first.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that it's all mental, it's up here. And the way that it started for me was choosing myself. And when I tell you for women, that is very hard. And I take a position a lot of the time in my friendships and my family as a caretaker, a caregiver. And that's not always needed in every single relationship, because what happened was I'm last. Everybody else is first because I take that caregiver position in every relationship instead of putting myself first so that I'm there, I can be there for them wholly. And so it's taken me a couple of years to understand that choosing myself is not selfish, and it sounds foreign, and it sounds inappropriate, and it sounds wrong to me for a long time. But you know, making those decisions to actively choose yourself, just to wrap it up and answer your question, has really helped me say, oh God, I really don't feel like getting up that early tomorrow to work out, but I have this, and this to do in the afternoon, and I need to get my mind right. I need I need to, and that is, Amber, that is you choosing yourself.
Yeah.
So I would say, what does choosing yourself look like to you? And then make those decisions, because it's gonna feel so good when you do it.
At what point in the day for you does choosing yourself start? Because I text Amber. I'll be up early. So like my time for other people starts at 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock. Because 5 a.m.
That ain't it.
No, that ain't it. And that's when I'm
that's,
up.
That's you.
That's me.
That's me too.
Right?
But that ain't everybody else.
That ain't everybody. I text Amber, probably it might have been like 8:30. And then she hit me back later on and she was like, my bad, bro. I actually don't check my phone till 10 in the morning. And I respected it so much, because just being aware of like, I can't start off my day with notifications. I can't start off my day with answering questions.
Protecting that energy.
I gotta
Like,
protect. I don't even look at my phone.
I'll look at it. I just don't answer.
Yeah.
I don't respond to anybody before 10 a.m. This is my time.
It's you.
That's me working out, taking my dog for a walk, praying in the morning, meditating, reading my word, reading a book. Like, I'm from about maybe 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. That's my me time.
That's your golden hour.
Yeah. That's my golden hour.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to ask a question before we get up out of here. If you could talk to yourself 15, 20 years ago, that Amber, what would you tell yourself about life? And, what would you tell that younger Amber about the world that she's entering today?
Oh, wow. Okay, so I was like 21. Jesus. My acting career just started. Gosh, that's a really hard question.
I'll give you some time to think about it, right? If I could talk to my younger self, and I don't know how you guys feel, but one thing I would tell myself is, a couple things I would tell myself. One, when you're ready, love is actually pretty cool. Being in love is really cool. When you're ready to accept it, and I think we've talked about it before here on the show. It's so many examples that we have as young Black men that steer us away from that, and, being older now and more mature, I could look back and say, if that happens to come along to you at some point in your life, embrace it, because it's cool. Another thing I would tell my younger self is, your dad is going to say some wild stuff, but he knows what he's talking about. And you should probably trust him a lot more, And I look back on my time growing up and it's like, damn, my dad told me so much of these things. And I for some reason, I felt like because my life went this way and his didn't, that I may have known more than him, just been so naive and just hard-headed, and I wish that like some things, a lot of choices that I made, I could have took him back, if I would have just listened to his advice. So, those are a couple of things for me. What about you, dude? Is there anything?
Yeah, very similar, man. I think that I would have definitely told myself, man, seek help more. And you don't, you can't do it by yourself, no matter how creative, no matter how hardworking you think you are, no matter, how talented, bro. Like, you don't know it all. You need to seek help and seek people that can help you expedite your process, and get you to point Z quicker, and also, like you said, man, I would just listen to my parents more and understand that they got a ton of wisdom, and then trust them more and allow them into my life more, right? I think that as I got older and got to college, I kind of was like, this is my life, this is your life. Like, hey, like, I'm doing this. I'm not asking like what their opinion is. I'm just doing things because it's what I want to do, right? So over time, it becomes, they feel it. They're like, all right, so we're not involved in what he's got going on. So they probably don't even feel like they could just come to me and say, hey, yo, do this, because I've already created that barrier. So definitely having, being like listening to them more than I would listen to like, Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, or like listen to my actual parents that actually care about me, and like not thinking that my parents have some kind of ulterior motive to steer me wrong, So definitely those things for sure. You know.
What about you, Jalon?
I was thinking about it right now, and honestly, I think the one simple thing I tell myself is let people be people. Like, very similar to Amber, I grew up in the church, and you create a perspective of what people are or what people should be. And within that, you create kind of like a false sense of judgment of people just because they just do things differently or they don't do things familiar to the way you've done it. So you actually block off yourself from, which is kind of oxymoron, you actually block yourself from a lot of blessings by doing that, because you don't actually get to experience people in its fullness, and they don't get to experience you as well, because you close yourself off to those experiences based off of the way that they live their lives. So they don't get to even see your life, so you don't even get to project your light on new people. So I would say let people be people. Just let people be people and experience people as such. Amber, you know, we got to say the best for last. I'm glad that you didn't answer it right away. What would you tell your younger self?
I was thinking about it. I think I would tell myself, one, you are loved, because I do inner child work all the time. That little girl's still here. You know, those little things that I dealt with as a kid, those things are still there. So I do say things to myself like, you're safe. You're safe and you're loved, and it's okay. You know, I know that you're crying right now, but you're okay. Trust your instincts. For me, there were a lot of things that I should have said no to that I didn't. So I would say, like, trust your instincts, and just know that God is going to carry you. You don't have to be so anxious about the future all the time. Be more present.
I got one last question to ask you. Just throw it out there. You said trust your instincts. Career-wise, do you feel like you've ever made a mistake, or do you have any regrets that you've made in your career that you feel like you probably would have done something differently now?
I try not to dwell too much on regrets or mistakes, so there's nothing that really sits out. But I know that there are certain things that I could have probably said no to or didn't get involved with that would have. Everything's a lesson, though, but it probably wouldn't have been so hard. If I didn't, if I just diverted. Yeah. Okay.
What about personally? Relationships, any regrets there?
Oh, no. I think I learned lessons from every relationship that I was in. And I thank them and I leave them in love and light. That's all that I can do.
Love and light.
Yeah,
that's not a passive-aggressive love and light, is it?
No, it's not a passive-aggressive love and light, because honestly, the only thing that I can control is me. And that's the only thing I can focus on. I can only focus on my mistakes and what it is that I've done and how I'm going to do better. If I sit and think about, like, every single thing that person may have done, for what?
Well, Amber, man, we want to really thank you for just blessing us with your presence.
It's been a pleasure.
I've really enjoyed this show and just really learning about you and hearing you speak about your story and just perspective. Man, we are you family now.
Yeah.
Nice and family now. You part of the fam. And just on behalf of Nice and Neat, I definitely want to wish you a happy International Women's Month, Women's Day. Right? You guys are important to the world, important to people like us, right? Have been super instrumental in our upbringing and just like sculpting us and molding us and
definitely,
you know, creating people like us. And you guys help us. People seeing women like you kind of just inspire us to just keep doing right. You know what I'm saying? So definitely want to acknowledge that. If you are listening to this right now, please subscribe to our channel on Spotify. Subscribe to our channel on Apple Podcasts. If you're watching this right now, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. Oh, follow Amber on Instagram. What's your Instagram, Amber?
Miss Amber P. Riley, MS Amber P. Riley.
Okay, so make sure
throw that in there.
Make sure you guys follow her on Instagram. Follow Jalon on Instagram at just.Jalon. Follow Omar on Instagram at Omar.Bowden, and myself at Duke, and Nice and Neat the Podcast at Nice and Neat the Podcast on Instagram. With that said, man, much love, much gratitude Till next time, I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Amber.
I'm Jalon. This is another episode of Nice and Neat, and that's that on that. Peace.
I'll be the one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting old and I don't got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind. Yeah. To the hundreds, pledge allegiance, I stand. I'm going pull four in the fucking white sand. I give it all to this fucking mic stand if it's been done before.